What's going on, everybody? This is the Silent Gamer, also known as VF Baller on Twitter, um, also known as Virtual Footballer. Uh, but I'm back with another video, and today we're going to talk about two things. I'm going to talk about GameStop, and I want to talk about just keeping it gaming. And I know the second one don't really pertain to me and my co-host Bills when it comes to the podcast because we're not 100% innocent, but we do it in the context of keeping it gaming. And I'm going to explain later on in this video. But first, I want to talk about GameStop. Now, as you see, I have a lot of stuff behind me, a lot of physical copies of games. I'm a big advocate of physical copies, but with GameStop possibly being bought out by another suitor or whatever, this may be the beginning, really the beginning of the end for physical copies, and just maybe big box stores or just maybe different business practices when it comes to actually buying games. It's kind of a charm to it when you actually can go to a store and buy a game, and that's one of the things that's going to sorely be missed if just a big if it goes that route. We know the convenience of digital copies of games. Hell, I buy digital all the time. I'm still buying stuff from the Steam sale. At the moment, at the time of this video, there's a really good Steam sale going on, and I'm really, digging into it. So I don't mind playing games whenever. But it's nothing like just going to a store and just picking up a game. That's one reason why I'm a big advocate for I'm a big advocate of retro stores because I just love going into the stores, conversating with other people who's there talking about games and actually picking up a game, finding something that you like, or finding something that you may never even heard of. With things being so saturated into, on digital, you don't really get this, have that feeling like, oh, this might be pretty cool. I might want to check it out or look at the instruction manual. You don't get those anymore, so it's going to suck, but at the same time with GameStop, their business practices have just been terrible. I still go there. I don't have a problem with, buying games from there because I just like physical copy of games at the end of the day. But if they do go away, it's like, and we do go all physical, all digital, I'm not really pressed. It'll be okay, because in this day and age in my lifetime, there's been numerous consoles out there with physical copies of games. If the new consoles don't have physical copies, I'll be okay. Yeah, you don't technically own the game or whatever, but hey, still, it is what it is. I think the last console when you got a digital copy and you really owned the game, I think it was like the 360 and the PS3, because there's games that are on my PS3 that will never go away as long as I keep my sign in, intact. And even then, I can go offline with it, and long as that long as that username, not the sign in, but as long as that username is still on that PS3, those digital games will still be there. So that's pretty cool. But not so much about the PS4, Xbox One, or any new console. And to be honest, I don't even know how the PC works. I have a Steam account. I have like over 100 games, but I don't know how that works. But I'm not pressed. It'll suck because, for people who have a game room, people who have a man cave, and people who enjoy games, this is what it's all about. You want to put this on your wall to where you will actually, sit back and enjoy it. It's kind of like somewhat like of a decoration in your room. So that's going to go away, especially if you can't get the new PlayStation 5 physical copy or the next Xbox physical copy of games. You don't have that massive, not necessarily big collection, but just have some games. Because I'm starting with a PS4 collection it's kind of getting up there, and it looks pretty cool on the shelf. And I have a Wii U collection. I'm not trying to get all the games, but it looks nice. And this original Xbox one. I want every game, but there's some games that I know I'm not going to get, because I'm not going to play them. But it'd be nice to have all 900 plus games on the, in my room right now. I have the room for it, but sometimes you just have to be realistic because I do play the games I buy. I just don't just buy them just because. So, what do you guys think about GameStop? Good riddance? Would you like another alternative to come out with better business practices? Would you like, something that'll be along the lines of, hey, keep physical copies but at a premium price? That's something that I may think that's going to happen, physical copies at a premium price. All these games will be digital, but if you want a physical copy, it's going to cost you. Like a physical copy of a game may run you maybe $80 because of the manufacturing of the physical copy, and it may be a lower print run of the game, kind of like limited run games. And even though it's a lower print run, it's going to cost to get that maybe an instruction manual or actually have a disc and have a case. So with that being said, would that be another alternative? I don't know. Just let me know in the comment section if you come through and watch my videos. And if the guys who do, I really appreciate it. Another thing is about keeping it gaming I want to talk about. And just give me one moment. I'm going to get on to that in just a second. That was inappropriate. Sorry about that. But anyway, keeping it gaming. Now, there is so much going on. If you have listened to my podcast, if you listen to the podcast, you would know that there are people who are bickering about Madden 19. They're bickering about the quality, about the beta, about a lot of stuff when it comes to the game in general. People asking for beta. Some people are really going extensively asking for betas. People think that's an issue, and I get it. I get it. It may look annoying to the average person. We're gamers. We're a bunch of nerds. It may look very annoying to see stuff like that. Even to fellow gamers, it may. But at the end of the day, it's like, that's them. Why does it matter? Do it really matter? And on top of that, you have people arguing about choice of words and differences of opinions where, people are, I don't know how it goes or whatever. I mean, just from what I heard, channels are being flagged. I mean, just two people two people, for example, you have Ryan Moody and you have Hollywood Sports. I mean, if you're outside of the sports gaming community, you may not know who these people are, but this is something where I came from. And for me, it was like, I was getting away from that, and my podcast is pretty much trying to get away from that, trying to show people that, you can enjoy certain games without people in the community really bothering you. And it's like, me and my co-hosts, we get a lot of flack for some things that we say because we're straight up about it. Sometimes we don't say people names and we just don't, it is what it is. But when you see, the reason why we don't say people names is because of what's going on between the two I mentioned. I mean, people, one person's channel's getting flagged, another one getting harassed on their channel. I don't know who's doing what. I'm not trying to get into that. But all this stuff is just going way outside of gaming. And once, it was like a year or two ago, maybe 2 years ago, I got to the point where it was like, you know what? If I like a game and I want to play it, it doesn't matter. And this is a mantra that I've used, before I even started YouTube, before I started watching YouTube. And I got influenced by people like Ryan Moody and people like, people that are in the sports gaming community, because I'm a big sports guy. If you don't know, I love sports and I love gaming. So put two and two together, I was trying to who's really out here talking about these sports games? Now, as much as I love other games, that was my stick, and that's where my old channel came from. But what I've noticed in that, there's a lot of back and forth in that community, and it's kind of sad because there's not too many people talking about gaming. Even when it comes to just sports titles, it's not enough people talking about it, and it sucks because nobody should feel harassed like Hollywood Sports is feeling harassed right now. Nobody's channel should be getting flagged like Ryan Moody's channel's getting flagged. It really sucks because a lot of these people have a lot of knowledge. They have a lot of potential to really go further than where they are now. And it's not like, I'm not saying that they're holding each other back or nobody's holding themselves back. It's just that it's just too much going on that's really, at the end of the day, it's pretty much irrelevant. This stuff don't need to be going on. That's why my old channel, maybe one day I'll make a video about my old channel and what it was about, and why I made this channel when I'm talking about recommendations for games or, certain joysticks or, my pickups, the games that I buy throughout the week or so. Those things, like, That's my real passion. I've had this passion since I was 5 years old, when my mom had an Atari 2600 and I just wanted to play games. You know, that's just one of the things I've been wanting to do. And it's like I got blinded by, you know, the football gaming community, because it took me, and I blame myself for being this way. It took me out of my element for what I really wanted to do, and this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to talk about just games in general. I want to talk about light gun games. I want to talk about, you know, certain RPGs. I want to talk about, you know, racing games. I want to talk about all this stuff because I love this stuff. And, you know, my podcast is talk about sports, and like I said, and it's going to trickle in, because it's still a part of me to talk about sports gaming, because that's a part of gaming. And the people that are in that community is just, it makes the entire community look bad at times. And, you know, nobody should be going through what they're going through now. Like now, I mean, we're not claiming victim, but it's just there are times when we're being blamed for what's going on with Hollywood Sports and Ryan Moody. You know, Hollywood Sports just recently put out a tweet earlier about he's being harassed, and we egged him on to make a 20-minute video. It's like, we don't talk to anybody. Me, Bills, DJ, Pooh, every now and then we'll talk to NY Kia. B Fife has just been on. I've been talking to him lately. That's pretty much the circle. Smitty from the, you know, EA Sports Game Changer, Smitty that's on the Sim Standard podcast. That's it. I mean, we don't talk about it or talk about or talk to anybody outside of that, because we're not trying to promote drama. Now, we'll talk about it because it's a part of, you know, it's a part of what's going on in the community on my podcast. But at the core of our podcast, we try to keep it gaming. We try to keep it gaming. We're not innocent, but we try to keep it gaming. Can we do better? Yes, we could do much better. But we're human, man. It's going to continue to happen, and the main thing is we're not going to be 100% innocent in everything, but we're not going to be starting stuff. That's just not what we do. You know, we'll speak on it. We'll talk about it because it's a part of the community or whatever. And I guess for some instance, I guess you could say I tried to get away from the community, but I can't, because I have a passion for sports games. But what I would not do is create drama in that community. But I do feel like it's an obligation for you guys to get an honest perspective and a neutral perspective on how we honestly feel about what's going on. We don't take sides. We're not on Ryan Moody's side. We're not on Hollywood Sports side. We're not on the Sim Standard side. We're not on the people who are against the Sim Standard side. We're not against the EA crowd or against the 2K crowd who wants a 2K football game. We just call it like it is and keep it moving. We play these games and we talk about it, and we talk about, you know, our thoughts about what's going on and keep it moving. I think that's fair. You know, so what if I don't at you on Twitter? The fact that you have to respond, the fact that I'm atting you on Twitter, you know good and well we're talking about you. But I mean, look, if you wouldn't be doing nothing crazy, wouldn't have nothing to say. Well, that's my time, man. Let me know what you guys think about GameStop and all these physical copies. What do you think about not just the sports gaming community, but just in gaming in general? Because I know everybody has this issue with their games or whatever the case may be. With gaming communities, you know, you have your bickering, you have your arguing, you have your drama, whatever. So please let me know what you guys think. Please leave feedback. Subscribe, unsubscribe, dislike, like. Let me know. I got another video coming up later on in the week talking about some games, some recommendations, and the podcast will be up on the weekend. You know how we do. Me, Bills, possibly DJ, maybe Pooh. Hell, B Fife might come back. Smitty wants to come on. We're trying to do a little bit of everything. So we just want to keep an honest perspective and a real talk about everything. No matter who gets upset, we're just going to be honest at the end of the day. It is what it is. You know, it's not about you per se. It's about what's going on, and if you don't like it, it is what it is. Guys, take care. Peace.